Alright, this is going to be an update to the GoFundMe. As you can see, this shed right here is nowhere near as big as the one that burned up, but still, even in this stage of construction, it's got us about $20,000 in debt. And it's nowhere near got what was in the old one. So, that gives you an idea how much this stuff costs. Of course, we're still under construction, but I'm going to show you what's new. Of course, we don't have the drainage put in yet. I've got the shed off axis, so everything will flow toward that wall there by the doors, and I'll put drains in the floor. This is garage flooring that you can actually pressure wash, and I've got that all still has to be sealed. But the one thing I'm going overboard in this kennel, as you can see, the wiring is all 12 gauge armored cable. So all the wiring, I was using the outdoor stuff. The only outdoor wiring I'm using here, this is 14 gauge, but that's because it goes to a very low amperage floor warmer. It's not really a heater. It only pulls 800 watts. So, you know, only a couple of amps that's ever going to be on a 14 gauge wire. That's way overkill. So there's plenty of amperage there. Also, in this particular kennel, we got fire sprinkler system. This sprinkler is set in this area here because that's basically the only area that I'm going to keep anything that's remotely flammable. But as you can see, we've got armored cable there, and we're going to have fresh water lines down into each one of these kennels so they can lick the little nozzle there and get fresh water. I gotta put a better trap, you know, underneath of it, because the dogs are sloppy when they drink. I gotta figure out a way to get that little pan underneath that nozzle better. Anyway, got 3/4 inch line running to another sprinkler right there. Those are set to go off at 155 degrees. So, you know, most fire codes say that you got to have metal tubing running to it, but it would take the temperature to be well over 155 degrees to melt that tubing. And once I get the ceiling put up in here, the only thing sticking out will be that little head right there. So we got that, and of course, like I say, each kennel has its own little freshwater drinking, so you don't have to worry about fresh water. And as far as doggy comfort, we've got a split unit 1200 BTU that provides the main heat and air. Like I say, there is, let me go back over here. Of course, I'm going to put another armored cable on the outside over there. And we've got, let's see, the only outdoor 14 gauge cable running goes up into the wall, goes to the floor warmer. That thing only pulls 800 watts at 110 volts, so, you know, we're well under the amperage rating of that wire. So it's like that wire's overkill. I could have probably went with a 16 gauge wire, but I went with 14. All the armored wire is 12 gauge, but everything in here is LED. So we're, you know, if I plug everything into this thing, the most amperage that's going to be on that circuit will be 10 amps. And it's set up rated for 20 amps. I doubt that. I mean, that light you see glowing there, that's 7 watts. 7-watt LED. So, I'll be lucky. I think I got a little dormitory refrigerator to keep the doggy medicine in. That'll probably be the biggest amperage draw I have on that circuit, and maybe 5 amps. I don't know. I might put a microwave in here because, as you can see, I got a cot. I got a cot in here. So when I'm watching for puppies, you know, they always wind up being born in the middle of the night, wee hours of the morning. I'm gonna make a mount where I can fold this cot up against the wall right there. And if I have to sit out here with them, I can. So, yeah, there'll be a sink over there. I think. I'm not for sure just yet where I'm going to put it. I may have to put the bed in here at a different angle. Not exactly. This is still up in the air. This is a big Grand Teton cot. It's a cot the actual size of a twin bed. So, yeah. So we are, as you can see from the GoFundMe, how much money I took in as donations. And just the building here, just the building, was just under $10,000. That's not including any of the piping, any of these kennels. This also doesn't include any of the doors. None of the stuff you see in here was included in that $10,000. So I've already got probably double that in the kennels and the insulation and the special boarding and shelving and the wiring. So yeah. I could very easily be bankrupted here in just a little while because of that fire. Of course, you know, we lost 16 puppies. You know, 6 of those puppies were supposed to have been producing this year. I'm going to do another video. I shouldn't, but I am. Because I've been asked several times, why aren't you a member of the Miniature Pinscher Club of America? Well, the Miniature Pinscher Club of America is nothing more than a political organization. Let's put it this way. I signed up to be a member. And they, at first in the magazine, they said I was approved. But then certain members threw a little temper tantrum, Armando, saying that if I was allowed to join, they just wouldn't have nothing to do with it. So they threw their little temper tantrum. They don't like my politics. You know, the best way to judge any organization is to read their rules and see if they follow their own rules. Don't judge by what somebody says. Judge by what they do. They say they're there for the betterment and promotion of the breed, but anybody that's been shopping from that organization for a dog knows that they're more into, you know, I don't know how to put it. They just want to live through their dog. They want to, I guess they want to be narcissistic because of my dog. I am the world's greatest breeder because my dog did this. I'm the world's greatest, you know, it's all about them, not the dog. So, anyway, this is the state of construction so far. This is probably going to take me, well, to recover from that fire, it's going to take probably at least minimum of 2.5 more years. Because this building isn't big enough. Hopefully, I can build a permanent building out here that would go right over the top of all this, a metal building, and then this building would be out in the exercise pen. I'm wanting to put in a bigger exercise pen so they can have a minimum of 1 acre to run around in. You look out this window here where that white tub and those pallets are sitting. All that would be fenced in, and then this whole building would move into that pen, and this would be just totally dividing up the the dogs, so they'd have like, you know, two separate groups, and each group would have a half acre. So you're talking 6 men pens per group, or 6 bitches per group, and each 6 bitches would have pretty near a half acre to run and jump and mess around in. So they should be extremely healthy. And you know what? I'll put my dogs up against anybody's dogs as far as being solid muscle. Because right now they're in a half acre pen and they run so much, it's yeah, they're little muscle balls. But anyway, this is the state of affairs. I'm hoping to have this. The main thing right now is to get the drainage in the floor. That's about another $1,000. So we're talking, you know, after expenses and all like that, I gotta sell at least, gosh, I'm gonna take a wild guess at 25 puppies this year, just to keep from going bankrupt. That's a wild guess. Well, it depends on what color they are and all like that, because, you know, I got to pay for advertising, food, registration, blah, 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 shots. You know, all that has to come out before the bank gets the rest of it. So, yeah, I'm going to say I got to have at least 25 puppies sold this year to keep from going bankrupt. That's a wild guess, maybe 30. But, of course, you know, the loan on this isn't cheap. But if I can pay it off in 15 months, it's interest free. So you want to know what your donations went to? They got me this far. So I still haven't replaced all the medical stuff and the oxygen generators and microscopes and all like that. But hopefully this, well, it's partially in operation now. There's Seska. She's separated because she's in season, and she will be bred to Yumi. So that's why we're going to call this the Shangri-La, the separation, so she can't be with any other male than Yumi. So hopefully everything will take, and 2 months from now she'll have puppies, and I know most of them will be red, so in a couple of months they'll be red puppies. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Got one little Wi-Fi camera up in here. We got fire suppression. I'm going to put one more of those right over there. So this will have 3 sprinklers in it. I've also got temperature alarm sensors, so my phone will alarm if the temperature gets over, let's say, 90 degrees or under 40 degrees. But the 1200 BTU for this thing here should keep the electric bill way down. That thing will never get off of eco, or what would you call it? You know, the very lowest setting to keep this heated and cooled. From that end of the floor all the way to that end of the floor has a heated mat underneath there that, you know, in the wintertime I can set it to about 80 degrees, so the floor itself will go to 80 degrees. Now that's not enough to heat this, believe me, but it is enough that they love to lay on it. You know, they don't want to lay on that bed, they want to lay right on the floor when that thing's running. But right now it's too warm for that. So there's the update on this video is just for the GoFundMe.